Thank you, Anthony. Karts are on circuit. Here's your starting lineup for the Micromax final. Pole position, it's Dan Holland Racing's Emerson McAndrew-Uren with Oliver Spence at the O-plate on the outside of row number 1. Edward Haynes and Harry Taylor go from row number 2. Max Abrahart and Kian Bernard on row 3. Then Max Gilman and Jensen Chalk, Riley Murrow and Jack Freeman, Samuel Lowdy and Zach Starbuck, Harvey Bacon and Grayson Wortley, Josh Cormack and Luke Millward, Tian Pahal and Oliver Warner, Austin Oman and Joshua Cook, 18 drivers. We've seen Micromax, the British Championship before, but always the guest class. This is their first time out as a regular championship class. And from the outside of row number 1, Oliver Spencer takes the lead. Side by side, wheels banging, and 2 karts running wide on the outside there. Harry Taylor is one, and I think Kian Bernard, the Zip Factory driver, is the other. Emerson McAndrew-Uren getting all crossed up at the braking for turn number 1 as well. It means that the O-plate from the outside of row number 1, Oliver Spencer, makes a great start, and he's already got a handy little advantage. It looks like it's the Richardson Chassis Engineering entry of number 46, Edward Haynes, into P2. Max Abrahart as well, they're in 5th. Emerson McAndrew-Uren has done well to hold on to 3rd place, and Jensen Chalk for the MLC Motorsport team from 8th on the grid, already up into P4. End of lap number 1. Spencer locking it up in the brake. We saw him do that so often in the pre-final. It's a good effect. They're the number 21 karts. That was the Toby George Motorsport kart of Josh Cormack going through towards the back of the pack. Now, let's see. Harry Taylor from 4th the grid came round 20th and last at the end of lap number 1. 19th was Kian Bernard, who started 6th on the grid. We'll watch to see how much of a progression they can make up through the order. But at the end of coming towards the end of lap number 2, Spencer leads from Haynes. There's a move from one of the Argenti karts a little bit further back. That was Oliver Warner picking up place. And now we have our first battle for the race lead, and it is Edward Haynes passing Oliver Spencer and bringing Emerson McAndrew-Uren with him. So it's now Haynes, McAndrew-Uren, Spencer, Jensen Chalk running in 4th. Anthony Jordan joins you back in the commentary box. Anthony, just to bring you up to speed, there was a bit of a concertina effect going into turn number 1. Emerson McAndrew-Uren was forced wide, and then behind him, Kian Bernard and Harry Taylor got together from 4th and 6th of the grid. They're now down at the back of the pack.
Right, okay, thank you very much. Yes, so it's all heated up then in the early stages of this final.
The adrenaline level was cranked up a notch already. We've still got a whole heap. I mean, Jensen Chalk making a great start, but he's now slipped back to 5th position. He was at the 4th in the number 64 kart. Side by side for the race lead, McAndrew-Uren. That's 3 different leaders inside the first 3 1/4 laps.
Nicely done, back in the lead and already gaining an advantage. And straight away, Haynes is on to Spencer to say, right, okay, let's close that gap up a little bit more. I mean, Spencer's in a situation here now where, well, earlier on, he didn't need anyone's help to close up a gap and might think, well, oh no, I'll just go past you and then try and close it myself.
Yeah, and he's realising it's not as hard to do it from the front as it is to come from behind.
No, exactly. So, yes, we'll see what he can do in this one. He might work together. I mean, they've already closed the gap. Like you say, they've got that slipstream, the bumper effect, and they've closed it up. So, again, no need for too much between the two of them. But instantly, Spencer's going to say, right, I'm going to go down the inside, retaking 2nd place. But Haynes instantly fights back. And, well, this is what I mean.
Great stuff. Great
good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, and you can see the 2 teammates there. Well, the 2 RC teammates there, Haynes. Oh, and that's the Cato Motorsport car, number 50, Max Gilman, just misjudging the move on Jensen Chalk going into Derek's corner. Now, this is the first, so a brief history. In 2019, Micromax had 1 race in the British Championship. That was won by Macaulay Bishop. In 2020, we didn't have a Micromax qualifier. In 2021, there was 1 race at Wilton Mill, and the 2 drivers that came first in their respective classes, Kenzo Craigie and Albert Friend. Last year, we had 3 qualifiers. They were won by Daniel Minto, Lachlan Johnson, and Jensen Chalk. But they don't go down, they were guest classes, so they're not down in the official record books. But now, Micromax makes its debut as a full class, a full championship And so we're writing a new page in my stat book, Anthony.
Excellent. Adding pages, eh?
Adding pages. Practicing my writing.
Good stuff.
I have no idea whose names I'm going to be putting in that stat book because it's a long way to go.
Oh, yes.
10.5 minutes. And as you can see, even though there's a few gaps developing, we've seen this as there is the number 88 Project 1 racing kart as a privateer driver. It's a Project 1 chassis.
Zach
Starbuck. Again, anyone can still win this one. Cian Bernard is up to 12th now after dropping to 19th on the opening lap, and Harry Taylor is up to 15th after dropping to 20th.
Yes, indeed. So, eyes on these groups as the battle still rages on, and here at the sharper end, Jensen Chalk just holding off Max Abrahart there. You see Max just behind another driver for the RCE team.
Yep,
He's just trying to find his way through this field here, and you can see them just behind there. They've not really latched in on these drivers in front as Oliver Spencer leads the way here. McAndrew Urin, and they've got to be careful here because, like you say,
yep.
I said it earlier on, okay, that Spencer knows how to get away and doesn't need anyone help. And if he does that here on his own, you know,
and
these drivers are in trouble.
Oh, there's that lockup again from Oliver Spencer.
Even more sideways though that time.
Extra style points. What I did notice there is that now all the leaders are using Oliver Spencer's tight line coming out of Kimbolton corner. They've all probably watched the race back, they've watched the footage back, the mechanics are telling them, and they're all now learning. You can see McAndrew Urin there coming out of the final corner, which is on his rear bumper, copying his line. So that maybe that little advantage that Spencer had in the pre-final has gone because his rivals have all caught onto it.
Yes, indeed. And again, look, we'll put that proof to theory or here as they exit out. Yeah, look at that much tighter line as they go on the exit there. So again, just keeping with that slipstream, and that's what the drivers earlier on were doing. Your driver who was leading the way earlier was holding that. Oh, yes.
McAndrew Urin
back through.
Takes the lead. Now, if the next time around, we've got a great camera angle at the exit of Kimbolton corner. You'll see the curb, that sort of raised curb coming out of Kimbolton corner. What Oliver Spencer was doing, he was jumping up onto that curb. That helps the wheels rotate just a tiny fraction bit faster, and using the curb to steer the kart a little bit. We see it at PF International all the time, where drivers use the curbs to help rotate the kart so they don't have to put as much steering input. Let's see if McAndrew Urin does it now. Let's have a look. Watch the curb there. And they're up and over it. You can see Spencer again just gets his left rear onto that wheel. A lot of other drivers are avoiding it. That means that the wheel just jumps a little bit further up. It's an extra rotation. An extra rotation could be an extra thousandth of a second. These races are decided by thousandths of a second.
Oh yeah, very much so. And like you say, some of the slowest cars that we've got here this weekend, but not slow by any stretch of the imagination. You know, they really do show how close they can be. And there, we just saw Riley Murray down the inside of Max Gilman there, just trying to get a position done. I think the door slammed closed by Gilman there, just thinking, oh, no. You're not going for that move. We've got to work together here and try and close that gap up ahead. So, keeping an eye on it.
Max Gilman, third in the 2021 British Bambino Championship, battling against the 2022 British Bambino outright champion.
Yeah, so there you go. Battles all the way through, and again that lock up there from Spencer, and from that angle it doesn't look like that benefits him at all in this sort of situation.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's almost like a placebo effect. The drivers think it benefits them, therefore if the drivers think it, then let them do it. However, a wheel rotates a fraction quicker, that's an extra fraction bit of speed.
Yeah.
There's one of the Dan Holland carts, that's the number 93 of Jack Freeman.
Yeah, Freeman off the circuit, not sure how that erupted into that situation. I think maybe 2-3 carts into one.
Aidan Mitchell, thank you very much, TKM driver. The curb is for lifting revs, not rotation. There we go, same difference. It adds an extra tiny bit of speed, improves the lap time. Thank you, Aidan. Shows what I know. But the point is, he's doing it for a reason.
Yes.
There is a reason why he does it, and it was working for him. Maximilian Abrahart, curb lifting or not, fastest lap of the race, 47.29 seconds. That's 0.2 of a second quicker than the race leader, and half a second quicker than his teammate Edward Haynes, who runs in third place. Here's Max Gilman in the number 50 kart, battling with Zach Starbuck, and this is the fight for 8th place.
Oh, contact and a spin, rotation. And, well, that was just under braking there in towards Dan Weldon corner. And, well, Max Gilman there.
Oh, he's going to feel hard done by there.
He was. And, well, you saw the head jerk back. And now, well, Max is going to try his best to get that back on the track. But
again, it's points. Points.
Yeah.
Championship points.
Gets it going.
There's 20 drivers in this race. There are 20 drivers still running, but there are 5 minutes to go. Max Gilman will now be 20th position, but if a couple of drivers retire in front of him, then that is, an extra couple of championship points. There, well, we've got a 2-car battle for the lead, McAndrew, Uren and Spencer. At the end of lap 12, with 5 minutes to go, they were separated by 0.04 of a second. McAndrew, Uren in front. Now it's Spencer's turn to lead.
There we go. So Spencer back out in front here. And instantly he's not going defensive at all anywhere. He's just staying on that normal racing line and just seeing what he can do. Now keep an eye on the gap between himself and Edward Haynes and Abrahart behind, because now Haynes is just explaining there. It's like, what are you doing? We're trying to catch. Why are you fighting?
The problem is Edward Haynes had one hand on the steering wheel. We need to have 2 hands turning into the corner.
Exactly, but Abrahart is the faster of the 2 drivers. So Abrahart's thinking, no, I'm quicker. Now you follow me. Now let's go. And again, it's just... we say it all the time. It's every class. Doesn't matter if it's the young drivers or the senior drivers. They all do it.
Okay, and I hope this doesn't trigger anyone watching on YouTube. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Abrahart's got the quicker kart. He is going to create a slipstream. He's going to create a vortex that Haynes will be sucked along. So even though Haynes' kart isn't as quick at the moment, he will gain speed and go up to Abrahart's pace because Abrahart has got that slipstream effect. He's got the extra speed. He creates a slipstream. Haynes can now capitalise on that extra speed in that slipstream.
Zach Starbuck, the 88, has received a 5-second in-race time penalty, I suspect,
for the incident with Mr. Gilman, who is still in 20th position. Dian Pahal is 19th, Luke Millward 18th, Grayson Wortley 17th, Josh Cormack is 16th, Joshua Cook is 15th, Oliver Warner 14th, Harvey Bacon is 13th, Harry Taylor 12th, Austin Oman 11th, Jack Freeman rounding out the top 10. Starbuck 9th on the road. That 5-second penalty will drop him back to 14th place as things stand. Kian Bernard has made his way back up from 19th on the opening lap to 6th, and he's only 5.5 seconds off the race lead. He's only 0.6 of a second behind Jensen Chalk for a place in the top 5.
That's quite a drive.
That is a very good drive.
Yes.
Some might say excellent drive so far. Still 3 minutes to go. Haynes slides it inside, going into Derek's corner, and it's the leaders have now escaped. Abrahart and Haynes are now 3 seconds behind Spencer and Uren. We got a head-to-head fight for the win, and at the moment a head-to-head fight for third. And Edward Haynes again saying, we need to push, we need to push. Here comes the man on a mission, number 25, the zip cart of Kian Bernard, back past Jensen Chalk with the number 22 of Riley Murrow for the Hunter Motorsport team hanging on in, sorry for Sam Pollock racing, I do apologise. If I'm getting it wrong, it's because the Sam Pollock graphics and the Hunter Motorsport graphics look a little bit too similar for my liking. Shh, don't tell anyone though.
There's, I think, quite a few teams that have quite similar liveries that we've struggled with over the years, Henry.
That's just we're thick.
Oh, yeah, true. Less than 2 minutes to go, plus 1 lap. And again, what a drive from Kian Bernard here. Like you say, moving up in those positions. He's there in P5 now. And he's going to try and latch on to the 2 in front, but the time very quickly running out. Only 90 seconds left on the board. I don't think it's going to happen for the race this time around. Question is, at what point are our 2 drivers at the front going to start battling? Because again, still Haynes gesticulating there to his teammate. Let's keep going, let's keep going. And back here at the front, and McAndrew Uren now is back in the lead across the line, so they are chopping and changing.
Dan Holland Racing have already taken a top 4 clean sweep in Minimax. Can they go 2 for 2 on the day in Micromax? I'm gonna, well, the clock strikes, heads towards 0. overall, in the modern era, Dan Holland Racing have 10, 20, 30, 40, 42 race victories. 43 once Denham's has been completed. Fusion Motorsports, 10, 20, 30, 40, 43. If Emerson McAndrew Uren takes the win, he will move his team, Dan Holland Racing, back to the top of the all-time British Championship win record, ahead of Fusion Motorsport. No pressure.
No pressure at all. No pressure at all. Hopefully he couldn't hear the PA system from where he was
Well,
there.
probably not from his cart.
No.
Dan Holland was saying, here comes Oliver Spencer.
Gets it done yet through Kimbolton corner, and Emerson McAndrew Uren not able to fight back as they go on to the final lap. And again, McAndrew Uren all over that rear bumper. Oh, Spencer just kept it in that one straight line, just squeezing Uren a little bit wide there as they exit out through the willows down the Yamitsu straight. And again, checking over the shoulder, Spencer will hug that inside line. Watch for the switch over here as they exit out of Derek's corner. They will be side by side, but he'll have the optimal line going in. Will Spencer, and Spencer so far is holding off the pressure here.
Out of Dan Weldon corner, down the TKM straight. Spencer defends. McAndrew Uren tries the crossover move, but it doesn't work. McAndrew Uren's going to try and copy his teammate. No, he does the switch to the inside. Emerson McAndrew Uren takes the lead with an absolutely fantastic dummy, and they cross the line side by side. It is McAndrew Uren with the victory. Oh, Oliver Spencer defended, and then as he swung wide to take the racing line into Kimbolton corner, Emerson McAndrew Uren, reminiscent of the move that Nigel Mansell pulled on Nelson Piquet to win the 1987 British Grand Prix, dived to the inside and takes the win by 1100ths of a second. And of course, provisionally, that puts the Dan Holland Racing team back on top of the all-time British Championship modern era finals win list with 44. It's over the Fusion at the next round when the Army classes come back and the Water Swift classes come back to continue this fantastic inter-team battle. There is a look at the rest of the leading finishers. Edward Haynes, the 2020 Bambino champion, finishes third for the Richardson Chassis Engineering team. That's their first British Championship podium. Maximilian Abrahart finishes fourth. Riley Murrow takes a top five finish. Kian Bernard takes home fifth. Sixth for Kian Bernard. Seventh for Jensen Chalk. Jack Freeman, eighth. Zach Starbuck, ninth on the road, but a 5-second penalty will drop him back outside the top 10. Also at the top 10, Sam Lowdy and Harry Taylor. Austin Oman, Oliver Warner, Harvey Bacon, Josh Cook, Josh Cormack, Diane Pahal, Grayson Wortley and Luke Millward. Sadly, Max Gilman finishing 20th after his incident. That is an excellent, excellent finish. And you can see some of the spectators out waiting for the next race, will be KZ2. But Micromax have arrived as a fully fledged class in the Motorsport UK Wera Tools British Kart Championship. And if that race is anything to go by, we are in for a treat. Quick chance to see there's Paul Carr. I can see down on the barriers there on the right-hand side of your screen. He is instrumental in designing the new Silverstone kart circuit. You can see with the red and white cap on there, it's Mark Allen from the Jade team, overseeing his sons Scott and Ross running Ella Stevens there. Brian Rush with his arms folded, his back to the banking there, head of the Rush Performance karting team. And at the back of the back with his blue cap on, that's Derek Turner, Charlie Turner's dad. Oh no, is that Turner? No, the Rotax coat on. No, that's somebody else. I do apologise. That random person with the Rotax coat. Hello, whoever you are. But again, they're all waiting for the next race where we could have a little bit more history being made. And Anthony Jordan is making his way down to speak to the leading contenders in Micromax. Emerson McAndrew Uren, like I said, has got a family who's, is it Emerson's grandfather raced in the British Touring Car Championship a long time ago. Jeff Uren, who was one of the British Touring Car Championships, first ever superstars back in the late 1950s. We've got another bona fide superstar in the paddock in the form of Mike Chittenden, who is wandering around. He was helping Greg Caton, although Greg has not made it out today. Saw Mike in the paddock this morning, still looking very sprightly in his 80s, and still preparing historic Super Saloon cars to a race-winning standard. And we wait and watch. Speaking of Paul Carr there, he's got his one hand on the fencing down the right-hand side of your screen. I, for one, cannot wait to see the new Silverstone kart circuit come to fruition. Paul is involved heavily in the design of that circuit, but Anthony Jordan has got our Micromax top 3 down in their pits.
Thank you very much, Henry. Yes, down here in Parc Ferme with our race winner at the end of that one, Emerson McAndrew-Urin. Well, what a race that was, all the way to the checkered flag, but you are able to get away with the race win. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the last couple of laps on that one. It was a tough fight all the way to the end. What were the moments that really caught your eye?
Well, we just had to push away, and then last lap it was always going to come down to who isn't behind and who could attack.
Kimbolton's always one of those circuits where it's tough to attack, it's tough to defend as well, because it's such an open and fast track. Do you reckon it's one you'd like to see on the calendar again in years to come?
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the championship as well, because, you know, it's a long way to go, but a great way to start the season.
Yeah. I hope I can carry on doing what I've done this week and just continue doing that to win the championship.
Anyone you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my dad for doing the kart, Time Engines, DHR, and all of my family, and Eddie and Sam and Sean.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations. Well done. Excellent. Let's chat to our man in second place, Oliver Spencer. Well, Ollie, what a weekend you've had, because you've certainly been proving that you've got the pace out there. You were flying in the pre-final and then through into the final. A brilliant race still.
Yeah, the pre-final we went from 17th to 2nd from disqualification in Heat 2, so it was really good improvement.
Very big improvement as well, and you know, all the way throughout this weekend you've been very quick and showing that you've got what you needed to do, and you know, it's a long championship again. A second place, still a solid result, isn't it?
Yeah, try and go for the championship win this year, so 4 more rounds to go, so it's okay.
It's more than okay, it's fantastic, isn't it? Plenty of time left to go in the championship. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Mike, Rob, Alex, Sinji, KR Engines, and my dad and everyone else who supported me.
Excellent. Make sure you get the hairdryer on that hair again, get it sorted out. Perfect. Helmet hair is one of them. Let's go all the way down. Look like everywhere. All the teammates following here. Well, Edward Haynes for RCE. Well, congratulations, coming away P3.
It's all right race, but
Hey, it's a solid race, wasn't it? You had to fight all the way throughout. You were a lot of hand gestures, a lot of talking. What was going through your mind there?
I just wanted Max to push me so I could try and catch up, but it was just they were too far away.
Yeah, it was a long way. Max is here, isn't it? Come on, Max, come on in. So he was waving his hands around. What were you thinking?
I thought I was quicker, so I wanted to get past and him to push me so we could get further up there. I knew we weren't going to catch them because they had a very big gap. So I just wanted him to push me because I thought I was quicker. So I tried to break away, but at one point I did try, but it didn't work. So
is that true?
Yes, it is.
but
a tough race for both of you, wasn't it? But you come away with a P3. It's a solid result still. You come away with decent points and you get to enjoy the podium a bit later on, don't you? Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yes, I'd like to thank Jordan at Force, Dave at RCE. I'd like to thank my family and Adam, my mechanic, and I've done that. Well, all my sponsors like Wellbro and MKM and stuff.
Brilliant. Well, congratulations. Well done, guys. Well done to all the grid out there for Micromax. A brilliant start to the season for the entire category. Of course, plenty more races to go. We go from some of the slowest karts to some of the fastest. KZ2 is coming up next.
Now it's time for the podium presentation for the opening round of the Micromax UK British Championship. We've had Micromax as a guest class here in the UK for several years. This was their debut as a full class in the British Championship. We had 20 drivers and the final was decided by 1/10 of a second. Finishing in third place. It's not his first podium, he's a former Bambino champion, but it is his team's first podium for Richardson Chassis Engineering. It's Edward Haynes. Now in the pre-final, our next driver put on an absolutely stunning drive to put himself in a position where he could battle for the win in the final. He's the British Open champion. He came second on this occasion for the Synergy Factory team, Oliver Spencer. Get the official kartpix.net photograph, as well as for all the Wera Tools Motorsport UK social media channels. Now, Micromax was the second final of the day. In the first final, Dan Holland Racing took the win to put them in a tie with Fusion Motorsports on the all-time modern era win list with 43 wins. Our next driver moved Dan Holland Racing to the top of the win list. It's his very first win. He's from a traditional racing family. It's Emerson McAndrew-Uren, and the winning mechanic is Dad Wayne. And he's even managed to coincide his glasses colours with his team colours. So, congratulations. I think it was Emerson's grandfather, who was a former British touring car champion, Jeff Uren, back in the 1950s and 60s. So a bright future ahead. And a first ever British Championship podium for the RCE team.